Hi everybody, I'm Kate, this is Split Thread, and I talk about machine embroidery and crochet. And tonight I don't have any embroidery to show you. I am waiting on parts for my machine, and when it gets here I'll be able to do some stitch outs. I was able to get some Halloween patterns, which I didn't think I was going to be able to do. I'm prepping for like a big Christmas stock up. So I had to put my money into patterns for my Christmas items, but I was able to get some like bonus points, so I put that towards Halloween patterns. Halloween happens to be my favorite holiday. I grew up not being able to celebrate it, and so now as an adult, I just want to make like half of the summer and like everything until like the middle of November is Halloween in my head. So anyway, here is the progress on my kitchen set that if you saw my first or my last video, it was my Joann's yarn haul. So this is not going according to plan, but I am happy with my progress. So I bought I can't remember what color this was, but this is the color that I bought. This is a Karen 1 pound. This is the color that I bought to be my copper pots and pans. I don't know why I thought this was gonna work, to be honest. Like, this looks nothing like my pots and pans. But my husband suggested that I use this Vanna's Choice honey, and you know what? It's not perfect, but I think that I did a pretty good job, so I like this. So anyway, this is the Vanna's Choice honey, and this is just some cotton thread. I have like 2 greens and a brown, and that's how I'm getting this effect. So okay, and then I have, this is one of the handles for my pot. So I'm gonna have these on here, and I changed the handles a little bit from the pattern. I will share the pattern, but it's gonna have a lid, and then this pot is not lined in the pattern, and I think I'm gonna line it because I think a lining would be cool. But then I have like little odds and ends that I've kind of been working on throughout the week. I've made some little leaves for like salad and whatnot. I have sliced carrots, and I'm gonna make like a little bag that says carrots on it. And then of course I have some little onion slices, little bitty onion rings. What else do I have in here? Oh, fries. And then I have this is my watermelon slice. So for some of these patterns, I found free patterns on Ravelry, and then I didn't use them because when I sat down to play with my yarn, I couldn't get a connection on my phone, so I couldn't download the pattern. But there are patterns if you want to make these. I mean, I think I started with 1 single crochet, and then I worked an increase at the start of every row, and then I just worked another piece and I joined them. And then this is just 1 row each of single crochet. And then for this, I worked a row, I think this is 10 double crochet, and then when I got to the end of my row, I just worked a single crochet all the way around my double crochet row so that it formed a bag, and I just kept going up. And then I was trying to build this up so that you'd have that like arc. And so I did 2 rows that have half double crochet in them, and I don't like the way that looks. if I do it again, I can probably do it better, but my kids think that this is awesome, and I thought it was pretty cute. Okay, and then I made sushi rolls without sushi. This is just a little sushi rice thing. So I need to add some like more colors in there. And then I bought an orange Big Twist, and I bought a Vanna's Choice in orange. And when you have the balls next to each other, you can see that they're a different color and a slightly different texture. However, you have Vanna's Choice in the middle, and then you have Big Twist on either side. And to be honest, I can't tell. They look pretty similar. I was hoping for a bigger difference, but it is what it is. So I have my little tuna. So I thought that was adorable. All right, and then this is the mixing bowl from that pattern. And the only thing that I did differently was once you work the bottom, like you start out, I will link the pattern below. I did use the pattern on this one. So you start out with your magic ring, you work your 6 single crochet, and then you work a row of increasing. So you go from 6 to 12, and then it's increase, and then single crochet, increase, single crochet. So anyway, you're increasing every row until you get to a certain size. And then when you get to that size, you do a row only in the back loop. And you do the same thing on the lining. And then when you've completed the lining and the outside, you join them with this accent row. What I did was when I got to the part of my lining where it said to work in the back loops only, I went ahead and I connected my lining to the outside of my pot, so that front loop that you didn't use in the outside of your pot, or your mixing bowl anyway, I went ahead and I grabbed that on every stitch. So these are connected, because I just knew that like my kids were gonna like pull this apart and it wasn't gonna look like a bowl, and I kind of wanted it to be a little sturdier and to hold its shape. So anyway, nice little mixing bowl. All right, and I have more stuff to work on. And then I made a crown. Oh, and that's lovely. I didn't work my ends all the way in. I've got one over here too, so I don't have like a pretty side to show you. But all this is I did a row of single crochet, and then I did a row of slip stitches, and then I did a row of the puff, and then a row of the treble. I came back for another row of slip stitches, and then I worked the scallop. So, and now my son wants one that is super complicated. He found this very like Charlemagne looking, like Queen Victoria nonsense, where you have like the crown, but then you have, it's almost like a whole hat inside it, where you have like the puffy like fabric part that looks like velvet, and then you have like the spiky crown on the outside. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I am going to try. But the rest of the yarn, I ran out of the honey, and they didn't have any more at my Joann's, so I had to order it, and it's not going to be here until like Monday. So this has just been sitting in my kitchen taking up space, but I'm having a lot of fun with that project. So my sewing machine still hates me. I have to get more parts for that as well. So I have not made any progress on the dinosaur dress or the Clone Wars dress, but I have been making this for a friend. This is out of 8-2 cotton. I'm going to talk about the cotton in a minute. And then I have been making this for a friend, and I just love the way that this works. Anyway, this is 16-2 cotton. So I have not listed my social media yet, And I do have an Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube channel. It's under Split Thread. I am on there. It just looks like it's dead. I do, like, I am in the DMs. I just don't post super often. I think the last time I posted was like a year. Was it a year ago? It was a while. I don't post very often. I do stories sometimes. I mostly share memes. Anyway, so this is more shells. So if you look at an older pattern, and these are actually the same, they're just in different orientations. So if you find like an older pattern, a lot of times you will see this called Russian fans or German shells sometimes, depending on what you're looking at. But I just love how the internet has been calling it virus. And so for the rest of my life, I'm going to call it virus, even though I grew up calling it something different. But this one, same stitch, different size thread, different hook, looks totally different. And I'm loving it. I'm here for it. Ah, I got that caught. So this, I am working with a 1.5 millimeter hook. So teeny tiny thread, teeny tiny hook. And this one, I am working with a 3.75. I don't know if that's going to be reversed. I just got a new phone, so I don't know how this is going to look. Anyway, my husband's so sweet. My last phone was 4.5 years old, but it had gotten to the point, like, I'd had the screen replaced. It was having trouble charging. It was like overheating when it was plugged in. I couldn't get like data at all. So anyway, I was gonna wait in the car and he was gonna take it in to see if they could look at fixing the battery. And he came back out to the car and I had a brand new phone, and it is the most awesome thing ever. So now I can record without having to like immediately hook my phone into my laptop and have it take like hours to transfer. I can just transfer it and not have to worry about it. Anyway, so all right, back to the Instagram thing. So I did get a comment last week about crochet thread information, and then of the 2 people who found my Instagram, one person was asking me about the kind of thread that I use and where I buy it. And like I do buy plenty of like commercially available yarn, but most of what I do is going to be in really little stuff, like really little stuff. So this is a 4-1 cotton right here, this brown. This is an 8-2, and this is a 16-2. So I'm not really going to talk about this right now. Basically, the second number is going to be the number of plies. So this is kind of an odd duck because this is a size 4 string, but it's only 1 ply. So it's more of like an accent. I'm not sure that I would do anything large just in this. But this is an 8-ounce cone that I've used it, but one great thing about working in string is that like string lasts forever. Like this is a 2.4 pound cone, and I have made like 5 things so far. You can't even tell that I've broken into this. So when I am done with this infinity wrap and with this shawl, I will weigh them on my food scale, because I would be surprised if either one of these ends up weighing an ounce. The way that cotton thread is sold is by weight. So you will see it's usually marketed as weaving yarn, and it's mostly going to be sold on a cone. Linen, hemp, and bamboo also usually come on cones. So does silk, depending on where you buy it. Like if you buy like smaller sizes of silk, a lot of times it'll come wound like this. But anyway, you will see WPI, which is wraps per inch, and they literally are talking about if you take a ruler and you wrap the yarn around it, how many wraps per inch. So most of the stuff that I use is going to have a WPI of 30 or higher. Like, I don't know off the top of my head what a 4-ply is, but like you'll see stuff that see, like here, there you go, same, oh there you go, okay, so same number of wraps, much different size, and that's all that WPI is referring to. And then you'll also see EPI, which is ends per inch. That has to do with weaving. That's not my thing. I don't do that. But it's sold by weight, and the most important number is the YPP, or yards per pound. 16.2 has a yards per pound of, I want to say off the top of my head, it's like 6,750 or something like that. It's a huge number. Whereas 8.2 has a yards per pound of 3,350, if I'm remembering correctly. It's something like that. Okay, so this is a 1 pound cone that has hardly been used. Most of the 8.2 cotton that I buy comes in half-pound sizes. This is a variegated from Maurice Brassaard. They are a producer in Canada. They're in the French-speaking part. This I'm going to be reordering for sure in the yellow, the green, and the pink, because I love this. They were back ordered on the yellow and the green when I ordered this. But yeah, I want all the colors. Like they have more, but this to me just looks like water. I love, like, who doesn't love blue lace? Okay, so, all right. But yeah, so this is a whole pound. The solid colors from Maurice Brassaard come in 1 pound cone, or I'm sorry, in half-pound cones. Variegated comes in a 1 pound, solids come in a half-pound. This is an off-brand. This is from Old Mill in Michigan. I will link them down below too. I love them. So this company buys mill-ends from factories all over the country, and then they rewind it and they send it out to people. So I want to say this 4-1 cotton, I want to say it cost me like $4 for this roll, $5, something like that. It's like super cheap. I bought a ton. Absolutely love them. But anyway, for my name brand cotton though, the 2 brands that I like the most are DMC, which I believe is also French, but then Maurice Brassaard. So Maurice Brassaard has pearl cotton, which is the mercerized. I don't really like working with it as much. It has, this is just Aunt Lydia's. Anyway, mercerized cotton has been treated and it has like a slicker feel to it. Like, it's harder to see. Anyway, it's, I guess this unmercerized, like, it's a little fuzzier. It's less processed. It's honestly, it's just as strong, if not stronger. It feels softer. This is a 3-ply. This is a 2-ply. And they do feel different in your hands. But anyway, if you're buying cotton to crochet with, the best way to do it is to order it directly from Maurice Brassaard. However, if you're buying in the United States, in order to make it worthwhile to buy here, you have to buy a lot, because you have to pay taxes and you have to deal with freight shipping. You have to buy a lot to make it worthwhile to buy directly from Maurice Brasssard. But if you're just ordering a couple of cones, the two best places to do it are Kansas Yarn Barn in Lawrence, Kansas. That's why they're called Kansas Yarn Barn, is because they're in Kansas. Anyway, Kansas Yarn Barn and the Woolery. So the Woolery has a free shipping deal if you spend $150. If you spend less than $150, I believe that they have a slightly better price than Kansas Yarn Barn. Kansas Yarn Barn has like progressive discounts at like 100 and something, 200 and 300. So if you go in like as a group and you buy a lot, eventually you can get up to 20% off on these, buying it through the Kansas Yarn Barn. Eventually the savings on the yarn comes out to a better deal than the free shipping at the Woolery. You just got to do the math and play with it to decide which company is better for your order. But both companies have absolutely phenomenal customer service. I can't say enough good things about them. I really love, really all of those companies. Halycon Yarns is another one. They're in Maine. If you're looking for teeny tiny wool, or if they have a lot of good knitting wool in general. But I like Halycon, I like the Woolery, I like Old Mill, and I like Kansas Yarn Barn. And a lot of people have never seen this, but this is how the 8-ounce 16-2 cotton comes. And I wish I buy like the big, like the 4-pound, the mill cone for the 16-2 and the natural. And I don't have like one of the giant cones, but they last forever. They're beautiful. They're really fun to work with. Not a lot of people do stuff like this, so it is really fun. But you can do a lot more than just crochet with this. I mean, most people buy this to weave with, but this is also really good for tatting. It's good for bobbin lace. It's really fun to work with. You can also do some embroidery with this, and it's really nice for Battenberg. So if you're into lace, this is really good. But this, from most places, you can usually get them for anywhere from like $9 to $14, like with shipping. And then for the 8-2 cotton, it really depends. A lot of times 15 to 22 is a good price. And it's like with anything, if you buy in larger amounts, you tend to get a better price. But I will definitely be ordering again soon. One of my favorite YouTubers is the Yarn Geek, and I believe the Kansas Yarn Barn is like her local yarn store, and she did a tour of them. And they have everything. Like, you could order, like, I could live in Kansas Yarn Barn, but I will link her video, because I think one of her early videos, she actually toured the Kansas Yarn Barn. She took people along on a shopping trip. But you know, it's nice to like see that there are like real people there. If I had to pick any one of my favorite yarn companies and give out like a good customer service award, it would be Kansas Yarn Barn. But if you're gonna order this, it's better to make a bigger order, like with a group, because of the discounts. But if you can't, I mean, order one, try it if you want to do thread crochet. It's a blast. You can work 2 strands of the 16-2 together, becomes an 8-2. I typically don't work more than 4 together, just because a lot of times I'll just pull out my 8-2 and work 2 together for that. But you can do a lot of really interesting color work. It's just something really fun to work with. Anyway, I have been on forever and I need to go play with my kids and eat and work on my fancy crochet stuff. But hopefully next week my parts will get here and I will have embroidery to show you. If you've stayed around this long, thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Look for me on Instagram. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay? So, see you later. Bye.